Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Um, I've had a chance to rewatch the game because it's on very early in the morning, so I'm still half asleep while I'm watching these games. So I watched it again, as painful as that was. And when I looked back on the second time, before I even get into any of that, I know there's a few of you that are very disappointed. Um, and I understand that you're young and, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different. It hits a little bit differently when it's this close to the end of the season. However, of all the games, or of all the competitions we've got left, the league is the only thing we can't decide all by ourselves. We need Man City to lose. There's no guarantee that they'll lose any games. And if I'm being honest, I don't expect them to. So whether we beat Spurs or we drew with Spurs, it was a point. Regardless, even if we won against Spurs, we can win all our games and it still won't be enough. And as far as losing the league by 3 points or 1 point, do you think anyone gives a fuck? Do you remember the season we lost 98 points and they were 99 or whatever it was? No. Because no one gave a fuck. Just that we ran them close, like we ran them close this year. Season's been fantastic. We've been amazing in the league. We've played amazing football all year. We brought the quadruple, the first English club to still be in with a quadruple at this late stage of the season. We've a really, really good chance of beating Real Madrid in the final. We've got Chelsea in the FA Cup final. We've already won the Carabao Cup. And at the minute, we're level on points at the top of the league with a better goal difference of 1. Do I expect Man City to lose? No. I didn't expect them to lose 14 points behind either. I'd already kissed goodbye to the league. Fucking back in January. We were 14 points back. The league doesn't mean as much as it means to you. I know it's your bread and butter, it's your bread. No. Do you know who says that? Arsenal and Manchester City. Do you know why? Because they don't have a fucking Champions League. They don't have European football medals to talk about. So you don't miss something you're never fucking in now, do you? But if you're a football player, you look at clubs in the Champions League. I don't give a shit if they win who cares if you have a winner's medal from fucking the Portuguese league or the Bundesliga? No one gives a fuck. They only care about how many Champions Leagues you've won. Or how often you played in the great teams of each era. That's what's remembered. All this other shit doesn't matter. I'm not pissing on the league. I love the Premier League. I'd love us to be winning it. But I was realistic. I didn't think we'd challenge on all 4. I said I hoped that the quadruple would come. I really believed that we had a really good chance. But we had to be perfect. And Spurs had a whole week to prepare. And they're managed by an Italian manager and they held out for a draw. Spurs have always been a bogey team for Liverpool, especially at home. We always get draws against Spurs. We don't lose against them too often. I think Jurgen's only lost 1, but we've a ton of draws there. And their goal was embarrassing. If that, we were having a good laugh at Manchester United, but it looked like Manchester United defending for their goal. It was hardly like a moment of brilliance from Son. The ball was pumped 600 feet in the air. Harry Kane takes it down out of the sky like he was training. As soon as that ball even was coming close to him, he should have been crunched. And he wasn't. And then I don't know what the fuck we were doing. We had a brain freeze. And we were a goal behind. Luis Diaz dragged us out of it. We smashed off the bar. We pushed and pushed, but it just wasn't to be. We weren't clinical enough. But even if we won against Spurs 3-0, it makes no fucking difference if City lose. And if City lose this weekend, We've both got the same amount of points with goal difference, with 1 to us. So that means we have to score more than City for the last games. Would have been nice if we'd won against Spurs? Sure, of course. I always want to see a win. But I'm not going to be crying over it like a fucking dickhead over a draw. We didn't lose. You know what I mean? The league was always the furthest one out of the 4 to get for me. Just because of the amount of points we had to try and draw back. We lost the league back in fucking October, November, December last year. The league wasn't lost in January. We started clawing it back in January onwards. But our league form prior to that is what caused us the problems of getting so far behind and having to try and play amazingly well to even get into this game, even in contention. The team have played phenomenal. It's been near enough a perfect season. People are on the board, I can't sleep, I'm so depressed. Why? You don't like being fucking top of the league, no? With 3 games to go. Irrespective of how many. They still have to play Newcastle. I'm not saying they're going to win. I think Man City will win all their games. And I thought Man City were going to win all their games 9 games back. For us to take it over, we needed to beat them at the Etihad. That was the game. And we didn't do it. So we're relying on slip-ups. And after them slipping up in the Champions League, they're not going to slip up in the Premier League as well and write the whole season off. So I think they'll finish strong, and they'll finish because they have nothing else to play for now. It's the league or bust for them. It's still been a terrible season for Manchester City. They would have had much better hopes of, especially where they got with Real Madrid in the semi-final. Nothing's guaranteed in football. I've been a fan long enough to know that you appreciate the good days and the bad days as often as you can. And that's it. And I've enjoyed all the good days this year. I've enjoyed the Manchester United games. I've enjoyed the Arsenal games. I've enjoyed against the rival games. I've really enjoyed it. I've had a great season. So whatever. Congratulations to Spurs. They parked the bus and held for a point. That was the team ethos at the start, and they had a week to prepare it. We had days, mate. We're playing again on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Villa on Tuesday. But I think we'll beat Villa. But I don't think it will matter. I think we need to focus on the FA Cup final and the Real Madrid. I think that's where our chances are. That's where we're going to find success as far as more trophies goes. For the sake of the supporters and the fans, I hope it's Champions League, because I really don't give a fuck about the FA Cup. It's the least of the trophies I wanted to win, but now it's here. Obviously, I want to win it. Alright, I'll do a player review. Okay, good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to our player ratings for Liverpool versus Spurs in the last home game of the season at Anfield, in front of a home crowd of full capacity on a nice sunny day, or evening game actually it was an late afternoon kickoff, wasn't it, at Anfield, and unfortunately we couldn't get the win to send the crowd home happy. Anyway, this is how the team, in my opinion, did anyway. So I'm going to give a 7 to Ali. I don't think the goal was his fault. I think he did everything else perfectly. He didn't have that very much to do, but you couldn't blame him on the goal. The fucking son couldn't miss. Trent 7. I thought he did really well defensively in the first 25 minutes in the first half, especially against Kane and Son. I was happy with that, so that's why he's getting a 7. Kanate 8, Virgil 8. Thought they were great. Robbo 6. He has been a phenomenon for the last 2 months. He just had an off day today. Hendo 7. Fabi 8. Thiago 8. We huffed and puffed and tried. Thiago had 91% pass completion rate. He tried a few things. He tried to get it happening. On another day they would have went in. They just didn't go in. They would refuse to go in. Salah 7. I've heard some silly shit online, and I'm pretty sure I don't know if the board has clicked on it. Maybe I've seen some things on the board as well of people commenting, but Salah's gone off the boil as concerning and all this shit. Hasn't he got 30 league goals and 15 fucking assists with games to go? Remembering that 30 league goals usually wins the Premier League Golden Boot every season. So he's gone off the boil since the AFCON, or since the World Cup disaster for Egypt. I don't think so. Maybe the goals hasn't come in as quick as they had prior to that, but his overall team play has been really good, I thought. So I just think it's, do you know what I think it is? I just think it's fucking idiots who don't know what they're looking at and don't understand the game. Like, I really believe that. Like, I'm listening to all the same journalists and the same idiots on the same type of fucking pages and YouTube channels and fan channels saying that Ronaldo was the problem a few months ago at Manchester United. He's 24 league goals and 12 assists in a season that United have been the worst in their history. Fucking Ronaldo is not the problem there. Cavani gets away with not turning up at all for the whole season and no one ever says a bad word about him. I just think people they just have agendas, I think, against the best players. They're just desperate to claw them down. Ronaldo, Salah, Lewandowski. Now he's finished because Bayern didn't get into the Champions League and everyone's blaming him. But he's not the one who got 40, 45 goals. Like, it's not these players' faults. Salah's knocked in 30 goals and 15 assists. He's done his bit. Where the fuck is the rest of yous? We've had a great season, so I don't understand. So I just think their just lack of education is just fucking mind-blowing to me. How the fuck did you just get through school? How did you get a degree in journalism, writing about soccer, if you have no idea? And I'm not saying soccer to be an American dickhead. Any football. Like, how are you getting any... Like, what are you watching? Anyway, who else played? Sorry, I got lost. Luis Diaz 8, my man of the match, and then Sadio gets a 6. Luis Diaz has been one of the main reasons why we've been still competitive in the league and why we're still in the Champions League, in my opinion. He turned the tie against Villarreal back to where it should have been. And he's been the summer signing, or the January signing of the window for me. What an impact he's had. And do you know what? Even when he scored the goal, and that's why he's getting the man of the match. And he was the most likely to score the goal today. I know it was a deflection and it was meant to go the other way, and it just, it was it was a great deflection, let's be real. But it was the way he celebrated it. It was like, come on! Like, Liverpool supporters can get behind that. They get behind South American footballers because of their attitude and their work rate and their application and all the rest of it. And that's why we love the African players, the Manes and the Salahs, because they put the fucking effort in. They run their bollocks off. And that's what, like, Liverpool's a working class community, like really working class, one of the poorest areas in England. Like, we are the poorest, probably in the most deprived area in the whole of the UK. On any given day. And despite all the problems we still manage to box above our weight, considering how much money we spent and what we can turn out as a team. And you only have to look at what United and City have spent this in the last 10 years compared to what Klopp has got to spend to notice that. Anyway, Klopp's getting an 8. The team played well. We didn't get the goal that we could have gotten. What we've gotten all the rest through the season. Fucking shit happens. As I said, we have to be perfect, and today we weren't perfect. We were good. We weren't great. If some of them 6s and 7s had been 7 and 8s, we possibly would have won the game. But look, we're playing every 3 days. Now we've got 2 games to turn up for. Like, if City win on the weekend, forget the Premier League last 2. Just play the kids. And let's focus on the FA Cup and the Champions League. And finish this great season with some fucking trophies. Because that's where the focus needs to be, silverware. That's how you judge a season. No point in playing well and getting to the final of everything. We already remember how that felt. And it was hard when we didn't win the league, remember? And then we didn't win the Champions League. And then we came back and won the Champions League. And then we came back and won the league. So this is just, if we don't win it this year, we'll win it next year. The bar's being set. We're all over Manchester City. Anyway, that's my last review until I'll do a review on Tuesday. I'm going to go back now and start watching the reactions of all the Manchester. I have to admit though, lastly, the Manchester United compilation videos of all the fan channels getting hammered by the lesser teams are nowhere near as good as they were earlier on in the season. It's obvious because they're getting used to it. They're not reacting as badly and they're not carrying on as much, so they're actually not as enjoyable. Just thought I'd share that with you because that was just something I noticed. I actually noticed that with Arsenal after a while when they were losing. They'd stop giving a fuck after a while because they were expecting to. I think that's what's happened because they're not as entertaining as I thought they were going to be. Anyway, onwards and upwards. We've got another game and we've got 2 more trophies to win.